So our third homework was on bisecting angles. So let's take a look at the homework problems that we did. It's a short homework. You may have actually finished it in class, but this will give you a chance to take a look at what happened, okay? So here we go with bisecting angles. I only gave you a few problems doing this one, so we'll take a look at what we got. So I gave you a little picture here about how to bisect it. So remember, you do one big curve, and from each of those intersections, you make a mark here. It doesn't matter what this size is, and it really doesn't matter what this is as long as you do the same thing from both sides. So here's my angle. I'm going to start with I'm going to center at my vertex, and I'm just going to do an arc through there. And then I'm going to do another arc from each of these points. My next arc is going to be in the middle somewhere. And you can actually keep the same size. It doesn't even matter. Sometimes I'll change it depending on what's going on. And now I can bisect my angle. Connect that X to your vertex. And there we go, angle bisector. Let's try that on this one. Same idea. Center at the vertex. Do an arc through the angle. Okay, I try to stay away from hitting the arrows. And now an arc out here. You know what? I'm going to use the one further away because I want to make sure that my arcs actually intersect each other. But again, from these points, just make sure you use the same distance. You want this point to be equidistant from the sides. And connect them. There we go. Okay, taking a look at a couple more. Number 3, same idea. Even though our angle's in a different setup, arc through there, and now equidistant from those 2 points. So I'm going to go equidistant. Notice I'll use the inside hole on these for one mark and then the outside for another, just so I can get a little further away. And it doesn't matter if your line goes through the vertex or not. It's pretty good. I missed it a little bit, but it's close enough. Number 4. By now you should be getting used to this, doing the same thing over and over again. I'm going to move my setting a little bit this time. And over here, do it from those points. It's kind of nice thing about these compasses is that you have 2 settings, so you don't really need to move the slider, whereas a standard compass, you'd have to reset each time. Excellent. Bisect all 3 angles of the triangle. So on this, you got to be very careful that you bisect all 3 angles. So the first angle, I'm going to go through here. And let's see, that means I'm going to be out here and over here. And I'm going to bisect that angle. Oops. I'm going ahead and going through the triangle. Now, next time I do it, I'm focusing on just this angle up here, okay? So the lines are going to get a little crossed here. In fact, if you have multiple colors, you might even want to use multiple colors for this, so that you're doing each one in a separate color. Move my compass so I can get out of the way of some of the mess I already have there. I'm trying to keep an eye on what's what. So I'm connecting to this point now. So there we go. So you have to really pay attention. And the last one, I'm going to go through these 2. Let's see. Okay. And here, I'm going to go all the way outside the triangle. Get out of the way of some of the mess. Way out there. And we connect those dots. If we did this right, these 3 points should come almost at the same point. That's actually got a special name for it, and we'll talk about that later on. Okay, so that's bisecting the 3 angles of a triangle. Not too bad. And let's look at our last one here. So whenever you're putting up molding, if you ever look at how molding's cut, they don't actually butt molding together like that. That's called a butt joint when you put them piece by piece. They'll put them together and they'll have an angle cut so that it fits together as an angle like that. You get a better fit that way. When you're using glue, it's more surface area to glue to. So that's how angles are normally done. You can see it on framing. You can see it on the molding on the wall. So what we have to do is we have to take this corner, and I need to bisect that to figure out the angle that I need to cut. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing I've been doing. I'm going to set up at choose your vertex carefully. I'm going to highlight my angle here so I can see my vertex. I'm going to highlight my angle. So it's a little darker and easier to see. You don't have to do this if you can see it clearly. Okay, and I'm going to bisect that angle. So I'm going to set up at the vertex, and I'm going to go through there. Notice I'm not using their measurements. Whoops, hit my recorder. Okay, this is why I never use their arrows, because I'm not sure what that is. So now I know I've got this point and that point. A little tough to see. From this point here, I'm going to come way out here. And from this point here, same distance. And there we go. Now I can bisect my angle. And now with that, I could actually take a cutter and I could draw that in on the actual lumber if I needed to and be able to get that angle cut. Okay. I believe that's it. That's the homework for tonight. Great. Have fun. I will see you tomorrow in class.